All right. Then what should you do when you're subjected to personal attacks right to your face? Do you just grin and bear it?
No, the idea that you are bearing it is proof that you are still stuck in the power struggle. When you are challenged to a fight and you sense that it is a power struggle, step down from the conflict as soon as possible. Do not answer his action with a reaction.
Some of this stuff I disagree with. Sometimes violence is unavoidable. I love this book because it gives you a chance to disagree and work out certain things. And I would love to know your opinions on that as well. Can you avoid every conflict? My opinion, no.
That is the only thing we can do.
But is it really that easy to not respond to provocation? In the first place, how would you say I should control my anger?
When you control your anger, you're bearing it, right? Instead, let's learn a way to settle things without using the emotion of anger. Because after all, anger is a tool, a means for achieving a goal.
That's a tough one.
The first thing that I want you to understand here is the fact that anger is a form of communication, and that communication is nevertheless possible without using anger. We can convey our thoughts and intentions and be accepted without any need for anger. If you learn to understand this experientially, the anger emotion will stop appearing all on its own.
But what if they come at you with mistaken accusations or make insulting comments? I shouldn't get angry even then?
You don't seem to understand yet. It's not you that mustn't get angry, but that there is no need to rely on the tool of anger.
See this on the panel shows all of the time, but there's a money element involved. So I absolutely get it. In the real world, I don't think things would go down like they do on panel shows if people were face to face. Okay, because if you still have to control your anger based off of the person that's actually causing you to be angry, then that means you're still there. The only thing you are doing is masking it, so to speak. You're masking your anger instead of removing yourself from the situation. On social media, panel shows, they don't do that. I'm pretty sure y'all have seen multiple shows where it's just a woman up there that want to talk shit about men, but they allow her to speak because it's good for the views.
Irascible people do not have short tempers. It is only that they do not know that there are effective communication tools other than anger. That is why people end up saying things like, I just snapped, or he flew into a rage. We end up relying on anger to communicate.
Effective communication tools other than anger.
We have language. We can communicate through language. Believe in the power of language and the language of logic.
Certainly, if I did not believe in that, we wouldn't be having this dialogue.
One more thing about power struggles. In every instance, no matter how much you might think you are right, try not to criticize the other party on that basis. This is an interpersonal relationship trap that many people fall into.
Why is that?
Watch. Now, I don't know if Kevin Samuels actually read this book, but this next part describes the need to be right.
The moment one is convinced that I am right in an interpersonal relationship, one has already stepped into a power struggle.
Just because you think you're right? No way, that's just blowing things all out of proportion.
I am right. That is to say, the other party is wrong. At that point, the focus of the discussion shifts from the rightness of the assertions to the state of the interpersonal relationship. In other words, the conviction that I am right leads to the assumption that this person is wrong. And finally, it becomes a contest, and you are thinking, I have to win. It's a power struggle through and through.
Now, you see how that pertains to social media conversations? And I just said, and if you're in the chat, shout out to you. Somebody just said, you should invite the Revolt panel people onto my show for a debate. And I responded to him by saying, what we gonna debate? Statistics? I know they don't have refuting evidence because I have it all. I put it all in the videos that I share with you guys. I know I'm right. Like you said, it's not a think I'm right. I know I'm right. So if I bring them on to debate statistics, what will we be actually debating? Their opinions on if they believe it or not? I'm not going to involve myself in that. Now, we could talk about the statistics, and I would like to know who taught you that what you saying was true. That's my biggest question, guys. If you guys didn't know, but it rarely goes like that. If I rebut somebody's lie about black men, the first thing that they go to is insults. And I'm like, this is not productive. You know, and I don't get bad, but it's not productive because I want to know where they got that from so we can get to the root cause of this. When did you learn that, you know, black men are doing all this to the black community? Point the person out. Who taught you this? Because I want to know. When I hear people put out these lies about black men, yes, I'm going to address it, but I want to know where and who told you that, so we can, so I can research that person to see what else they've been saying. Okay, because some of this stuff just it can't be just out of the blue. You got it from somewhere.
In the first place, the rightness of one's assertions has nothing to do with winning or losing. If you think you are right, regardless of what other people's opinions might be, the matter should be closed then and there. However, many people will rush into a power struggle and try to make others submit to them. And that is why they think of admitting a mistake as admitting defeat.
See?
Yes, there definitely is that aspect.
Because of one's mindset of not wanting to lose, one is unable to admit one's mistake, the result being that one ends up choosing the wrong path. Admitting mistakes, conveying words of apology, and stepping down from power struggles, none of these things is defeat. The pursuit of superiority is not something that is carried out through competition with other people.
So when you're hung up on winning and losing, you lose the ability to make the right choices?
Yes.
Yes, it clouds your judgment, and all you can see is imminent victory or defeat. Then you turn down the wrong path. It's only when we take away the lenses of competition and winning and losing that we can begin to correct and change ourselves.
And that's people not being afraid to say that, hey, I was wrong and I made a mistake. That rarely happens in black spaces on social media. And I will go back to Kevin Samuels' interview with Kendra G. When Kendra G called into Kevin Samuels' show, I want y'all to remember back. It was a part at the end where he kept asking her, I want you to give me an age. Give me an age of when you think it would be best for women to get married.
Yeah,
What age?
That was like 25.
What age would you tell the women? I ain't asking about you. And
I'm
your
trying to
life.
answer it, but you won't let me answer
No,
it.
I just need you to give me the age. I don't need the background. Give me the age. They're between the ages of 21 and 50. What age, if you want to get married and have a family, what age should they start prioritizing?
You allow me to answer, Kevin, because
Yeah, I'm allow you to give me an age. I'm going to end this conversation.
I know a girl that had a baby.
I'm allow you to give me an age range.
Kevin,
All right.
oh my God, it was
All
nice
right.
talking to you.
Yep.
Since you're not,
This is why they're not listening to you anymore. This is why. This is a woman talking about our running relationship channel, and I asked a simple question. At what age would you tell women to start prioritizing? They don't want to tell you.
But she wouldn't give him the age because she knew that Kevin had her. Like, hey, you're one of the elders in the community. Let them know. What age do you think that young women should get married? But she just wouldn't do it. So he had to get her off the show. And to this day, Kendra has acknowledged Kevin Samuels, but she hasn't acknowledged him in a sense like, hey, everything that he said, that I was asking about, I learned from myself and he was actually right. Because her ego and her need to be right won't allow her to do that. That was one of them. I would love for y'all to go back and watch that interview, because the same thing that Kendra G did with Kevin Samuels by calling into his show, she actually gives men a lot of shit for calling into her show and giving her pushback.